Here with the follow-up to my wildly viral TFAR video. This is going to be the video that shows you how to actually get your data from TFAR, interim assessments, all that good stuff, and then get it into some way you can actually use it. So this isn't TFAR for normal people anymore. This is the Centralized Reporting System, or CRS. We're going to be getting the data, and we're going to be living the dream. So come with me now as we adventure to the Texas Assessment website and get started. Okay, so everyone kind of collectively calls TFAR the same thing, just to sort of refer to this this very general thing here. But I think it is important at this point that we start branching out from necessarily calling everything TFAR. So here on the Texas Assessment website, testing personnel, if you just go to texasassessment.gov and click on testing personnel, you'll wind up here. You will see all these different options. Don't worry about this one. Here's TFAR, what we're used to. TDS, or the test delivery system, this is the place that you actually wind up going when you give the test. So if you have given a test through TFAR or something else, you did it through here. And then this is what we're going to focus on here, is the Centralized Reporting System. Now you can get to this from the TFAR interface, if that's what you're used to just kind of going to. But this is how I'm going to go to it. This is how I go to it most often. You will have to choose your role when you're looking at this. So you'll just choose TE at school, whatever school you are at. If you are a learning leader or principal or something, then you probably have more options. I'm going to go ahead and do this one here so I can actually see stuff. And then this is the main page here. So this is called the dashboard generator. So let's really quickly kind of look at some of the stuff on this. That way you kind of know what it is you're going to be getting when you're getting specific things. By and large, you don't need to worry about this or this, or about, I mean, a lot of this you don't necessarily need to worry about, but there are some things that are a little specific I want to show you. If you go through this and you don't see any of your kids, or you're missing a bunch for some reason, there may be a reason for that. Cambium, this whole system, only lets you see the students that you have on a roster. So if you aren't seeing your kids, it's probably because somebody else has them on a roster. You can check this if you go to this View Edit Roster, that it'll ask you for this information, so I can say like middle, and then choose their names. Like if I choose me, search, nothing, because I don't have any rosters that are actually in here. But if I choose like Mr. Bunn, he has several. And then I can actually go in and see which kids he's got in which periods. That way, if I'm not seeing my kids, this way I kind of have an idea. If you need to edit rosters or something's not right, feel free to shoot me an email or let your learning leaders know, and they can help you get the information you need. Pretty much this is set up the way it's supposed to be, though, so this probably shouldn't be an issue. I just wanted to make sure I covered that before we got started. Okay, now let's look at the fastest student report option, which is not really one that's practical to teachers, but it's maybe useful if you wanted to give it to parents or to the kids themselves. If you click on this Download Student Results button, it'll open up this whole thing for you. And then from here, you can actually print like the same looking handouts that they're used to seeing when they get their STAR scores, like in the mail. So to do that, first thing you do is you click on report type over here, change it to individual student report. I would leave it as just single PDF, and then just simple is fine. You can do detailed if you want to, and you can do multiple PDFs, but for every kid you select, it'll print a different PDF for each kid, which is kind of annoying. It's easier just to do it as one and grab the ones you need. Window 1, Window 2, and unassigned, these are going to be the, Window 1 is your interims for reading and math, and then Window 2 are your interims for science and social studies. Unassigned, that would be TFAR. So let's pretend that we're going to print out a report from how the reading interim went. So I'm going to choose Window 1, next. And then we'll do reading, that's fine. And I'll choose, I gotta choose reading up here. Okay, and I'm gonna do this test. And then I will come back up here and say next. Select all the schools. Obviously, we only have one, grade level campus thing here because we're a small district, so I'm just going to choose middle school. And then make sure all this is right, and then you say generate. And then nothing happens. That's normal. What you need to look for is right up here. This little guy that says inbox. Hold on, I'm going to make it even bigger for us. I'm lying. Anyway, but what you're looking for is this thing here that says inbox. If you click that, you will see all the things, all the different reports you will have made, including this one I just started. Notice that it says in progress. These generally take just a minute or so to show up. If you just sit here and wait on this window, though, it probably won't. This will never reflect to show you that it's actually done. So click out of here, and then click back in, and then click out of here. And there we go. There's a little one. That little one that popped up, that means it's done. So then you can click this, and it will open it up for you. Now, I'm going to show you my my example I have that is that I've taken the name out of. That way it's, confidentiality safe. So this is what one student's will look like. Now on the other students, or on the big one, you're going to have 100 and however many kids up here. But I just separated off this one just so I could take their name out of it. And then it will give you the information that they're kind of used to seeing from how STAR tests look. So we'll give you their scaled score, their overall raw score. It'll show them this. It'll give them probabilities of earning each performance level. And then it'll kind of break down in their broad reporting categories, how they did in each one, how close they are, etc. Depending on how long the test is and how much stuff you have or had on that test, it may be 2 pages. But for these first interims, they're pretty short. So this is what they generally look like. Now, this is not super practical to teachers. So let's go back, and I'm going to show you how to get more beneficial reports for teachers. Okay, we're back. I said I was going to show you how to get beneficial reports for teachers, but actually I wanted to show you something else. If you see this up here, it means that there are constructive responses, short answer responses, stuff like that needs to be manually graded. And if you see this, you have the option to grade it. So if you click this, it'll again ask you which institution. The only ones that I have available right now are these Rolling Hills ones. So I'm just going to go through onto those. And then it'll tell you how many students and how many items need to be checked and graded. So if I click here, it'll show me their names here, which I'm going to hide in my edit. And then if you click on the score, it will show you the stimulus, and it will show you the question as well as their answer. And then you can click on this points earned, and you can choose it. And then condition code, you can give them a reason why they did not get whatever they got. And you can leave a note. So if your scores don't look ready or whatever, if you see that little yellow test to be scored business, then that's what you're going to want to click on. Okay, so let's go back here to this main part here. All right, so we've viewed and edited our rosters, edited our rosters. We downloaded the results in a student and parent understandable way. We looked at this test to score. Now let's actually get some beneficial reports for teachers. So you have all these options. If you scroll down, there's 2 here that you're going to actually be interested in: STAR Interim and Field Authored. Field Authored is how they categorize TFAR. So these are teacher-made tests, and these are STAR Interims. So I'm just going to say go to dashboard. Now I'm on a district account, so I can see a lot more than possibly you can see, and that's fine. But just so that you know. So let's start by looking at an interim report. So if I choose, for example, interim reading. It's going to give me every grade, and then if I choose, say, this one here, this is going to give me how the district did on like this test in general. So kind of interesting, they have these green and yellow ones here. These green ones, these are the 5 items on which students performed the best. So it'll tell you the max number of points. And then these numbers up here that are hyperlinked, these are actually the questions. So if I click on this 8, it will show me the stimulus over here, and then it will show me the question itself. If I click on rubric and resources, it will show me what the correct answer is, as well as the standards that it aligns to. And you can go through, this says item 10, that's the next question they got the most right on. Same thing, great. And then if I go to this one, it'll actually show me the questions they did the worst on. So same idea. And then of course it breaks it down by the region, and then district and River Road Middle School, that's going to be the same because, you know, we're small. You can also click any one of these other tabs out here, and it will go through and show you how they did on each question individually. Not each student right here, I'll show you that in a second, but like as a whole. This high, medium, low form, I will explain shortly, but basically if you didn't know, the new STAR test track the students as they take the test. And depending on how well they do in certain parts, it either puts them into a high form, a medium form, or a low form. I don't think that's very easy to see in this view, but I will show you shortly what that looks like in a different view that makes a little more sense. If I click this River Road Middle School here, it's going to give me the option to see the performance by roster. So I can look at the rosters of kids and see how they did on this test, or I can look at performance by student, and it will give me again the same kinds of breakdown. I'm not going to scroll down because there's student names there and I don't want to show their scores. But then you can see, like, if I click this on, I can see how each of the kids individually did compared to everyone else on these easy things. But again, this is all seeing it in one window, and that's not necessarily the easiest way to process a whole bunch of data at the same time. So let's go back. I'm going to go back here to this dashboard generator. And we got to where we were by going start interim and then go to dashboard, but I'm going to choose field author because I want to look at TFAR as well. So then here we are again. So let's go back to that same test, which was grade 8 reading. And instead of clicking this to see all the details in here, I'm actually going to click this little button here. I call this a share or an export button. I don't know if they have names. It doesn't matter. Okay, choose carefully on this one so you actually get the stuff you want. But I think it is best to do this overall test, reporting category, item performance for all students, and then campus, whichever campus you have available, and then choose Excel. Export assessment data, verify, yep, okay. And then same as before, except this one actually opens up your window so you can see what it is that you're downloading. But if this doesn't open up on its own or you lose it, it is, again, it's up here in your inbox. And then it's already done. So then you just click on it and it will download. Now you can click this and open it in Excel if that's what you're comfortable with. I actually hate Excel and don't use it for anything. I much prefer Google Sheets. So I have already opened this up in Google Sheets, and this looks the exact same, except I've just changed I just blocked out the names and the TSDS numbers. Confidentiality and all that. So this is what you're going to see first, and it's going to give you kind of the same information that we just saw in here. If I were to go and click on this, I'm going to get basically the same kinds of information as I would in here. So I'm going to get average scale scores, I'm going to get items on which they perform the best, the worst, all that jazz. But honestly, if you're just trying to get these information just for you or just use it as grades, I take all these rows here and I delete them because I don't need them. I don't need those. What I'm looking for in particular are these overall raw scores. So this is how I was saying that it's honestly a lot easier to get, my formula's already in there. This is a lot easier to get your information in a way that makes sense to you. So you can look at it this way and see they're like probability of earning approaches are above. That might be helpful to you. It's not especially helpful to me. So I'm actually going to get rid of these and delete them as well. Okay, now we can actually get into some information that matters. So this form part here, this will tell you what form the student landed on, and how and then kind of tell you which questions went from there. So then if you go through here, it'll show you each one of these are like questions that go with it, and then they break it down in just various ways for you throughout here. You know, if a student, you can kind of tell, like, the confusing part for us was understanding that this 14 out of 36 out of 30, that's their actual score. And based on that, they have, we were trying to figure out what is like a percentage, like how did they do in a way that makes sense to put in Skyward. What we figured out is that there are 48 total questions on this particular interim test, but they're only going to get 30 of them depending on the form that they're on. So what I did is I made this other sheet over here and then just pasted the names in, the raw scores in, and then this little formula here does the math for you because Sheets likes to read these as dates. If you're somebody who's slicker than me, then this is going to look different. Also, I didn't direct copy and paste this from this particular one. This is from somewhere else. But I can actually do that right here. So if I take this and I go right here to sheet 1, I'm going to delete these out and then paste them in. And then I'm going to get scores that actually make sense. These can go in the gradebook, or you can curve them, modify them, whatever you want, however you prefer that way. So that's just one way that we kind of have been using these reports to get some more beneficial information. So let's come back over here now. Let's go to my dashboard. Ayo, thank you. Okay. It's going to give me these same things. I want to go to the dashboard generator because I want to look at TFAR reports. All right, go to dashboard. When you click TFAR, it's going to show you 951 tests have been taken. That's a lot of tests. And now we're going to see, it's going to be kind of a lot of tests in the same spot. But let's say that I wanted to see this. Honestly, the results are going to work the same. You can either export it or you can click this. And then I can see the 5 that did the best on, 5 that did the worst on, and I can look at all of them together. So that is the main way that you, this is how you're going to see scores. This is how you're going to see scores from interims, scores from your own tests, all that stuff. If you need any assistance with this, just let me know. And remember, don't feel bad if this whole thing makes you feel like this. That's kind of what everybody feels like because of it. But we're all going to get there together. As always, thanks for watching, and if you need any help, just let me know.